So, will the Cinderella season continue for the Jaguars? Can the Giants prove that their season was no fluke? And will it be possible that America's team will be able to do what they've never done before? Well, we're going to try to find the answers to those questions and many more as we get you ready for Super Wild Card Weekend. That's right, my friends. The playoffs are here. But before we get to the playoffs, football fever. It starts right about now. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is January 13th, 2023, and it is a Friday night with the boys right here. Yours truly, Tim McClellan. Over here is John Flynn. Down below us is our commissioner, John Natale. How you guys doing?
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
I'm good. I have the mixed feelings of number one, not being able to win the fantasy championship this year because of what happened with in the end of that Monday night game. But I digress. I had a wonderful season with that. But on the other side, the New York Football Giants are in the playoffs, and it's for the first time in 6 years. And so I wasn't on the podcast last week to talk about that, but I'm so over the moon that Brian Dable led this team without much talent into the playoffs. So it's going to be an incredible sight to see them play on Sunday.
Got to give a shout out to our GM too. He was incredible.
Joe Shane.
Yeah, well done for him here. Of course, Giants not only in the playoffs, but my Cowboys have kind of made it into the playoffs, although last week's game against the Commanders was very, very disheartening. It was the worst offensive performance I think I've ever seen the Cowboys play, probably the worst in Dak Prescott's career. But hopefully we start with a clean slate. Records don't matter anymore. It's only one thing: win and you advance, lose and you go home. That's pretty much simple.
Yep, everybody's 0-0 now.
That's right. So,
13 playoff games to be played over the next month to determine who the NFL champions are this season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, that's right. And we will take you people all the way from here on Super Wild Card Weekend. We'll take you to the divisional rounds, take tips. Not like I'm going to say anything about Pro Bowl, even though they're doing it totally different this year. And we will take you all the way to Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. So, so with that being said, I want to take a look here. Our picks from last week, week 18. Then let me see all that up. Get the screen up here. Here. All right, I clicked on it. Still having some technical connection problems here. Wait, it's not my screen is not responding yet. Let's go to a window. There we go. They click on that. And we'll let you folks at home see how we did for our picks straight up and against the spread for week 18 and for the entire season. It should be coming up on screen here.
Spoiler.
So slow.
Spoiler alert, somebody did not do so well.
Problems again.
You said somebody didn't what?
Do well this week.
Really? Do you guys?
Yeah, but
Right. It's a real serious problem right here. Okay, we'll stop. Said it, but wow, this is it. For you folks at home, you'll have to forgive me for this, but for the last few weeks, I've been having some very, very serious connection problems. Internet, I have no idea. But let me see if we can try to screens on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. So y'all people could be able to see how we did in week 18 and for the entire regular season. Let's click on that. We'll share that screen. And it should come up.
yay!
There it is.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. For some reason,
It's in, but it's like
it
warpy.
just automatically
It shows Flynn covering it, kind of. Shows crazy images of Flynn.
18 was pretty good. Flynn and Natalia. So Flynn and Natalia finished. Yeah. So Flynn and Natalia goes about me. And last week against the spread, oh my gosh, here we go again. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll just have to read it from what I got here. Flynn went 9-6-1 against the spread last week. Natalia went 10-5-1, and I came up way short on mine with 4-11-1. So for the entire 2022 season, Flynn won the straight up picks challenge with a record of 173, 96-2. Natalia finished second place with 190, 99-2. One Natalia with 169, 102. Against the spread, well, Flynn was pretty darn good. He finished with 142, 122-7. I finished at 129, 135-7. And Natalia finished the season against the spread with a record of 124, 120, 140, 124, 140-7. So that's pretty much how we did. So I guess right now, I guess the only thing to do right now and jump into these games here. I guess is I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's when it all starts. Go ahead and share the screen here. Get the window.
And you're saying especially Monday. That's probably the one you're definitely looking forward to the most.
Obviously, and ESPN already has a day of programming dedicated to that game.
Nice.
All right. There we are. There's our picks. Let us go ahead and dive into the first game is Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco Niners, and you can see Stadium in Santa Clara, California. The 49ers are 9.5-point favorite. So, Flynn, let's go ahead about this matchup with the NFC West rivals.
Yeah, so this game is where it is to showcase how Mr. Irrelevant has become Mr. Relevant and then some. And Brock Purdy has done a fabulous job with San Francisco since taking over as a starting quarterback. So the 49ers have won 10 straight. They've been playing at a championship caliber level ever since the middle of November. And they've been just torturing their competition throughout the whole thing around. But there is something that San Francisco probably saw in the Raider game that Nick Bosa said to Shine on Sports earlier this week, so that they made the mistake of overlooking Jarrett Stidham. And so they're probably not going to overlook Geno Smith, given that it's a playoff game and you need to be at your best. But there is something that a caveat against picking San Francisco with the points is that since 2000, and I heard this today on the Herd with Colin Callagher, that since 2001, teams that have entered the playoffs on a 10+ game winning streak are 2-13 against the spread in their first playoff game. So, yeah, but I just don't think that the 49ers are going to overlook them because of how dominant they've been, and given that how the twos have dominated the sevens over the course of the past over the first 2 seasons of this new format. And so I just think this is going to be a bloodbath. I have San Francisco winning this game and covering. The score I have for this is 31-16.
Ooh.
So I have the Niners winning and covering.
Okay, nice. All right, looks like we got Tim back. All right. Guys ready for me?
Okay. It looks like I got... Yeah, I just wanted to score on the...
Yeah, you came in right when Flynn was giving his score. He said 31-16. All right. I guess.
Okay. I still didn't get it. Connection problems. I'll tell you what. Put it in that private chat. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
He's a center. Yeah, just center here. Because man, I get with my technical director Irene on this. See if she can.
All right. I'll write it down.
Help me figure out why I've been having these problems here.
Let's see.
So, okay. We got it right here. John Flynn,
Oops.
He's going with the 49ers.
You beat me to it? Okay.
Not only to win, but to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got San Francisco winning and covering by a score of 31-16. Pretty convincing score. So, Natalie, you were about up.
Yeah. I mean, in my when I made my initial season predictions, I had the 49ers going to the Super Bowl for a reason. You know, they're really good this year. But am I sticking by that? That remains to be seen. Brock Purdy has become really, really darn good. I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be here, but an injury had him start, and he's been very solid since. Right now, he's undefeated. Yeah, can you imagine someone who was initially named Mr. Irrelevant going to a Super Bowl? Wow, well, that's going to be something special. And the Seahawks got into the playoffs by a fluke. Packers just played awful against the Lions that day. And I had the Seahawks being in last place. They definitely proved me wrong. mean, while Geno Smith has been pretty impressive, and he has good receivers in Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, their defense just isn't that good. The 49ers, I want to say they're in the top 3 in defense, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe top 5 at worst. But this one is pretty much going to be a cakewalk for San Francisco. This is not my lock, but it was very close to being one. But I have the 49ers winning this one. My score is just about identical, 30-16.
30 is interesting.
Yep, just about identical.
Well, I'm telling you this. I'll tell you this. Brock Purdy he is quick on becoming Mr. Irrelevant. I think he's starting to be the real deal, and I think that he may be the future face of the Niners, maybe in the long run. So if he
bold take,
then I guess we could be saying goodbye to Jimmy Garoppolo in a Niner uniform. I mean, who knows? If this Brock Purdy can keep up this mad pace that he's on, I mean, this guy has really been he's been improving by leaps and bounds every week, and is doing quite well. Seattle, on the other hand, well, they do have they still have Geno Smith, who I still think may be a comeback player of the year. Of course, they got a DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and all those guys here, but I can see the 49ers winning and covering. So I'm going to take the Niners. They'll cover. I'm going to be a little bit generous to the Seahawks than you guys, just a little bit more. My final score in this one is San Francisco 30, Seattle 20. We're going to give the Niners a dime. Give them a dime on that one. So it looks like we are all in agreement with the Niners here. And I gotta get that screen up again so everyone can take a look at the spreads and make your picks along with us. Let's get that screen again. As we do that, let's talk about this next game. And the nightcap over on NBC Saturday night. It's the Los Angeles Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chargers come in at 2.5-point favorites. So we got, I think, the first meeting between Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. This could turn out to be a very, very interesting game, Flynn.
I spent so much time on the critically acclaimed Hooked on Sports podcast NFL episode this week talking about the Jaguars and the Chargers. So because there are so many different layers to this, and it underscores a reality, Tim, of what the AFC has become. One that's dominated by young talented franchise quarterbacks. And you think of Patrick Mahomes, you think of Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. They've all played in several playoff games, but this is the first playoff game for Justin Herbert and the first playoff game for Trevor Lawrence. Both are who I expect to be 12-year franchise quarterbacks for their respective franchises. So I think for this game, I said on my podcast, which was recorded yesterday afternoon, that it was the single toughest wild card game I've ever had to pick. But I got a lot more clarity today when Mike Williams was ruled out because of a fractured back he suffered in what was a meaningless game, and Brandon Staley has blood on his hands. No, there's no question about that. And I think I think he's coaching for his job tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. But if I had to make a pick before the news dropped today, I would have taken the Jaguars because Doug Peterson has done a tremendous job turning Trevor Lawrence into a franchise quarterback. I initially disagreed with the hire because of his wonky in-game decision making. So, but the Jaguars have their star quarterback and they have their head coach that'll elevate him to elevate that quarterback to new heights. So I'm gonna take the Jaguars to win this game outright. I think they're more confident. They've been playing a playoff caliber football over the last several weeks, and I think it's going to translate into a home playoff win in front of a raucous crowd in Jacksonville on tomorrow night. So I'll take the Jaguars to win 27-24 over the Chargers.
How do you think, Natalie, we got?
Yeah. Coming into this game, I have the Chargers going to the Super Bowl. If you guys remember my original prediction, 49ers versus the Chargers. Mm-hmm. But the way this is looking now, I think my original prediction is in trouble, and I'm going to have to change it. This was the single hardest one for me to pick as well. And when these playoffs were set up, I had to change my bracket twice. And with the news breaking out about Mike Williams made me change my bracket for the second time. I initially had the Chargers winning this game, but now that Mike Williams is out, he's one of the key receivers, their number 2 guy. That made all the difference for me to change it. And I mean, although the Chargers defense isn't particularly great, I don't think the Jaguars I think is a little better, led by I can't pronounce his name, so I'm just gonna call him F.O. You guys know who I'm talking about, Fo.
Yeah.
He's a very good in tackles. He can make the sacks when needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna sack Herbert a few times. He's gonna be their main difference maker here. I see a fairly low scoring game here. Had Mike Williams been cleared to play, I would have said the Chargers, but now because of that, I have changed my pick. I'm going with the Jaguars now, 24-21. Mm-hmm. So this no longer so I have a new Super Bowl prediction. I'll give that to you guys after the conclusion after we talk about the last game. I'll give my new Super Bowl prediction.
All right. We'll be on the lookout for that, Tim.
Okay, so what was the score on that one?
Me, Jaguars 24, Chargers 21.
Put it in the.
I'll write it down just in case.
Okay, Jaguars over the 24-21.
Yeah. Okay, you got it.
Well, it looks like I'm going to make you unanimous. And Jacksonville has been, what story? What a great story for the Jaguars. From taking the first overall pick in the draft last year to coming to this, Lawrence is really around. And now with Mike Williams that's going to be out, to kind of definitely their chances of winning a little bit more, but I don't think too much. I'm taking the Jaguars to win and cover. Give me the Jaguars over the Chargers by a score of 28-23. And that's the way I see it right there. Those are the 2 Saturday games. We have 3 games on Sunday, beginning at 1 Eastern, with another very interesting matchup right here. The Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills. And Bills are heavily favored now. Oh, the spread went up to 13.5 now. I originally saw it at 13, but it's now gone up to 13.5. So, oh boy, I'm feeling kind of terrible for my man, Alex Putnam right there. The host of his show, The Four Horsemen of Pickles. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central on the ATR on YouTube. APISLE90. That's how you find it. So, Flynn, with the Bills, 13.5-point favorites. Is this a blowout again?
I mean, so Skylar Thompson has is going to be the starting quarterback because Teddy Bridgewater is out, and so is Tua Tagovailoa. And the way the Dolphins played, they should have lost to the Jets on Sunday, but because the Jets were quarterbacked by Joe Flacco, who gave no deeds of services to the Steelers fans. Surprise, surprise, for to help the Steelers get to the playoffs at 9-8. But I digress on this one. I mean, Skylar Thompson against Josh Allen is probably the biggest mismatch of the entire weekend. I'll take the Bills to smoke the Miami Dolphins. They'll win 27-9. All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this game was probably easily the easiest one to decide. I mean, even if Tua was playing, I don't think it would have made a difference. Dolphins probably would have scored a lot more points, but in the end, it wasn't going to make a difference. I mean, the two split the season series early on. I mean, and the Bills are at home field. It's going to give them an even bigger advantage. While the Dolphins' defense is pretty respectable, there's no way they're going to be able to stand up to the strong Bills' offense, led by Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. He's definitely going to probably get a couple touchdowns. Bills are going to win this one easily, 32-13, and that is my lock of the week.
Same with me. Tim?
Okay. Okay, I didn't quite get the scores. I know both of you are going with the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills, but I've got this inkling feeling that Miami may be able to cover the spread. Maybe an impulse reaction. I don't know. But obviously, both offense versus special teams. They have to start. They haven't quarterback for Miami. That may be they could probably pull off by winning with the points, but I'm going to take the Bills overall. So give me the Bills over the Dolphins by a score of 27-21.
Okay. Told you the Dolphins to cover.
Why I'll do that. I will take a little sip of my Dr. Pepper. Hopefully you are enjoying a good beverage. I see Mr. Flynn got a little brewski right there. There you go. Okay, the afternoon game for Sunday. Be 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. It's time to talk about your team, guys. It's the New York Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota to take on the Vikings. That's right. Minnesota is 3-point favorites. So since you guys are representing the Giants, I will go ahead and get this thing started here. Pretty amazing about how the Giants were able to get into the playoffs. I mean, they were scratching, clawing by the skin of their teeth, which all the way through the latter part of the season. And a great deal of that has to be credited to not only their quarterback, Daniel Jones, but it looks like Saquon Barkley has kind of resurrected his season a little bit. He's getting back into his prime form that he was at the beginning of the season. But I have to judge Minnesota's offense just a little bit better. I mean, one of the best things that the Vikings did this season was to be able to get TJ Hawkinson from their division rival, the Detroit Lions. And it's made a kind of a difference. They've been using him a lot, and he's really paid off for them. And, of course, they still have their two great wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, probably one of the best receivers in the business, as well as Adam Thielen, who always takes care of his own calls that way. And, of course, Kirk Cousins here. But afternoon, Kirk Cousins usually doesn't do well in the mid-afternoons or in prime time, for that matter. But I hate to break your hearts, guys, but I've got Minnesota winning and covering by a score of 33-24. Give me the Vikings over the G-Men. So now let's hear from our Giant fans.
Yeah, go ahead, Flynn.
Okay, so first of all, I'm just so damn proud of the Giants organization, and this has been a long time coming for us. It has been 6 years since the Giants went to the playoffs, and we deserve this after going through so much hell through Ben McAdoo, through Pat Shurmur, Dave Gettleman, Jerry Reese, and damn Joe Judge, if I didn't say his name, and having to go through all of the losing, all of the bad contracts, all of the bad draft strategies, all of the lack of plans. And what Joe Shane and Brian Dable have been able to do with this Giants franchise is completely turn it around in one season and turn the future bright with what they've been able to do. Brian Dable is going to be in one of the front runners for Coach of the Year, if not will be the Coach of the Year in the National Football League. But my favorite part, I think the reason why I'm most feeling confident about the Giants is that there are 6 key defensive players: Azeez Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, but second team All-Pro, by the way, announced today. Leonard Williams, Ordori Jackson, and Xavier McKinney are all going to be healthy. They're all going to be on the same field together for the first time all season. This shows to show what the coaching has been able to do with and their ability to sit everybody in week 18. So all the players offensively and defensively, the Giants need to show up and ball out. I mean, in Minnesota, were off the last week offensively and defensively. And look, even the Giants' third stringers, I thought they showed a lot of heart against Philadelphia on Sunday as well. They made it a much closer game than people anticipated. So, and so I think with this in the end, I think the Giants have had a top 10 scoring offense and scoring defense over the last 4 weeks, dating back to the Washington game. The Giants thoroughly outplayed Minnesota the last time. Had it not been for 2 mind-numbing mistakes on offense and a 61-yard game-winning field goal, the Giants would have won that game in Minneapolis. I think that there's a sense in terms of the coaching, in terms of the confidence. And listen, this Giants team doesn't have anything to lose. I mean, the Giants are playing this game with house money. The Giants, with what they've been able to do, Daniel Jones is playing the best football of his career. I think the Saquon Barkley coming off a quasi bye week, I think he's going to have a monster performance. And I think when it matters the most, it is going to be the matchup of Kayvon Thibodeau against a banged up Minnesota offensive line. That's going to get the job done in the fourth quarter and win the game for the New York Football Giants. This will be the Giants' first road playoff victory since the 2011 NFC Championship game. This will be the first playoff win in general since their last Super Bowl. I think that this is a time for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley to show up in a big stage and a big spot in front of a national audience of 25 to 30 million and have fun and show what Giants football under Brian Dable and Joe Shane is all about. Give me the Giants 28, Vikings 25.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. This rivalry takes me back. I know Flynn was probably a little young for this.
Go ahead.
To remember this, but this game matchup takes me back to 2000. Giants versus the Vikings. Kerry Collins was their quarterback. Total domination. I think there was more points scored on defense than offense that year. I want to say that was a year I think the Giants won, I want to say 41, 43-0, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this Giants team, they're going to play with that same mentality. I mean, they're definitely not going to get a shutout. That's for darn sure. Because this Vikings team is better than the 2000s team, just like this Giants team, I think, is better than the 2000 Giants. And I got to give Daniel Jones a lot of credit. He's been playing phenomenally well. He's a free agent to be. Hopefully, he gets re-signed. I know there's at least 3 Giants that are free agents to be. Him, Saquon Barkley, and Darius Slayton. There's probably more, but those are the big 3 right now that I can think of.
Those are the 3 big ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them. All 3 of them definitely deserve contract extensions. Man, I mean, Jones has had he's had it hard when he first started, but I never had anything bad to say about him. It was always the offensive line that was the issue. This is clearly the best offensive line that they've ever had now in recent years. Like Andrew Thomas, Feliciano, they've been phenomenal.
I mean, you could definitely say that about Andrew Thomas, who, by the way, was named second team All-Pro left tackle today. Congratulations to him. But there are still some issues with the Giants' offensive line, but I don't think Minnesota's defensive line is that strong enough to exploit the weaknesses up front.
Right. I was going to get to that. Yeah. I think this is probably, if you go based on Jones's career, this is his best offensive line so far. And yeah, I think it could get even better if they do decide to draft another lineman in the upcoming draft. But enough of me rambling. Time to analyze this game. Yeah, this is although this was a tough choice. The Giants and the Vikings are going to battle. It's going to be a very big defensive game, and the Giants definitely should have won in their last meeting. Yeah, like I said, I got the 2000s vibes again. I think Daniel Jones, he's going to kind of play how Kerry Collins played. That offense, I think, is going to use that same mentality. In the end, I know I probably sound, I'm going to sound like a homer here, but I think the Giants are going to win this one. I really do. It's hard to beat the same team twice. That rematch is exactly what the Giants needed. I think they're going to march down into Minnesota. They're going to be down with maybe 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They're going to get that game-winning touchdown, a rush by Saquon Barkley. Give me the Giants to win 28-27.
I think it's going to be a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. So, Giant boys are going with Giants. I'm kind of riding with Minnesota on this one. We'll see what happens on Sunday afternoon. And it'll be interesting to see what happens on Sunday Night Football on NBC with two AFC North teams facing each other. It's the Baltimore Ravens against the Cincinnati Bengals over at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. And first thought it was 8 points. Now it's 8.5. Cincinnati picked by 8.5 points. So So how bad is it going to be for the Ravens knowing that Lamar Jackson is going to be sitting out?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be pretty. When you think of it, it looks like Tyler Huntley is going to be starting for Baltimore. It looks like. Well, we're not confident about yet, but that would be a bit of a relief there. But so I mean, but what I was going to say is every summer I do it. It's an annual tradition on my podcast where I rank each of the 8 divisions in the NFL based solely on their defenses because I think these are the types of games where I think great defense will be handy here, especially when you have two teams that know each other so well. I mean that they just played each other 5 nights ago, and then they're going to play each other again in about 48 hours from now. So these two teams are most definitely familiar with each other, and simple look. I mean, the Baltimore has no chance without Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. I mean, Baltimore's defense has played their butts off. And that Roquan Smith trade was absolutely brilliant. And by the way, he signed a 5-year, $100 million extension earlier this week. So he would have been the premier free agent in this year's free agent class. That's off the table now for other teams. But I digress. I just think Cincinnati is gonna win this game with their defense and the arm of Joe Burrow. I think he's gonna have touchdown passes each to T. Higgins and to Jamar Chase. And I think Joe Mixon's going to have a rushing touchdown in this one to put the game on ice in the fourth quarter. I'll take the Bengals to win this game 24-9.
24-9. That does sound pretty bad. And tally, you see it?
Yeah. This was the game that made me change my bracket the first time around. Because when I first did my initial bracket, I had no idea that Lamar Jackson wouldn't be playing. And I figured, all right, since Lamar is playing, it's hard to go against him. I initially picked the Ravens this game, but when the news broke out, I had to change my bracket all over again. I'm like, with the backup starting, maybe the third stringer, I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to be ugly for Baltimore. Although they have a good defense, their offense is essentially nothing without them. I mean, their running game hasn't been particularly great. Mark Andrews has had an up and down season. Their receivers haven't been particularly great since the latter part of the season. Bengals are clearly the better team now. They have one of the best offenses in the league. Joe Mixon, fantastic running back, as well as their big three receivers. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. They're all going to play an exceptional role here. They're going to steamroll through this defense. They're going to win this one easily, 27-17.
Okay. So it looks like once again I'm going to make it unanimous here. It seems like without Lamar Jackson, huge disadvantage for that offense. Joe his guys, they're going to go through that defense, and I'm to take Bengals to win and cover easily. Give me the Bengals over those Ravens by a score of 30-17. And those are the Sunday games. Last but not least, Monday Night Football, a playoff game on Monday night, which is so sweet. And it is my Dallas Cowboys heading to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Dallas is picked by 2.5 in this one. As we talk about this one, I want to ask you both a question as you make your pick here. Question was asked all week on ESPN. I'm on other platforms. The question was, who has more to prove here? Head coach Mike McCarthy, or is it the quarterback Dak Prescott? Flynn, let's start with you. You'll make your pick, and who do you think is more under pressure?
I honestly think it's Dak Prescott. I mean, I've been stressing over the last 4 years on my podcast, on this podcast, on Twitter, so that the Cowboys have loads of talent on the roster. When you look at the skill player on defense, on offense, I think Mike McCarthy is a gem of a coach, and there were games this year that were won because of the guidance of Mike McCarthy. But the biggest through this whole ordeal over the last 6 seasons has been Dak Prescott. Can Dak Prescott win the game with his right arm when everybody knows he needs to make big time throws? And we saw some alarms go off on Sunday against Washington when he wasn't able to do anything offensively at all. And in each of his last 7 games, dating back to Thanksgiving Day, he's thrown at least 1 interception. And every single game where he's had 25 or more passing attempts, he's thrown at least 1 interception. And he has the highest interception rate of anybody in the NFL. He led the league in interceptions this year, despite playing in 12 games out of the team's 17. The other 5 were started by Cooper Rush. So I think this is going to say everything about Dak. And Dak has something to prove here, and he's got something to prove in terms of reversing some of the legacy regarding the Dallas Cowboys, as the Cowboys are approaching the 30-year anniversary of their last road playoff victory with the 1992 NFC Championship game in San Fran against the 49ers. And you think of all the mishaps, and there have been so many throughout the years for the Cowboys, and I think this is all about Dak Prescott and his ability to live up to the contract. Now, I vehemently disagree. I disagree with the entire process 3 years ago. Remember 3 or 4 years ago about whether or not you have to pay Dak or Zeke. But they wound up paying both. And Tony Pollard, by the way, is a free agent at the end of the season, as he's going to have to get paid in order for that excellent tandem to stay together for another couple of seasons while Ezekiel Elliott's contract is still going on. But I think in terms of this game, what Todd Bowles dialed up brilliantly in the first matchup was to key in on stopping the Russian attack, because by stopping the run, it's going to force the Cowboys offense to be one-dimensional, and I just don't think with that, and you factor in that Tom Brady's on the other side of the field whenever Dak and on the sidelines whenever Dak's on the field. I just think the coaching the coaching matchup is going to be Kellen Moore against Todd Bowles, and Kellen Moore has already has not won a playoff game as a coordinator yet. He's played one. He coached one last year. Of course, that was the debacle with 14 seconds left against San Francisco, where they forgot they had no timeouts left and they couldn't spike the ball in time. So I think this is a time for Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady's time to shine once again. There's been a confidence that's been building with Tampa slowly but surely, and I think once again the Dallas Cowboys will let you down in the playoffs on the road, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-9 will win a playoff game this year with Tom Brady. Bucks 19, Cowboys 16.
Ooh.
Okay, so he is riding with the Buccaneers for the upset. Natalie, what do you see here?
Yeah, I guess going back to your first question, who has more to prove? I would also say Dak Prescott. McCarthy doesn't really have that much to prove anymore. He's already had success. Look what he did when he was with the Packers. I believe he won a ring with them, if I'm not mistaken. He has experience from all sides of the field, so I think he knows what he's doing. He just needs the better players to build around him to lead. That's the issue here. So as far as that goes, yeah, he has to show that he's better than that quarterback that's leading the league in interceptions. He's better than that. Cowboys fans knows he's better than that. The league knows he's better than that. I think it's just a down year. Like everybody gets a down year every now and then. He'll definitely bounce back. I guess Tim, you should definitely do your hot take that you did on Alex's channel. I was in the audience for the show. I definitely heard that. I think it would be cool for Flynn to hear it too, if you want to bring that up later. Remember when you did that hot take? But yeah, as far as this game goes,
what were you talking about?
Oh, I was bringing up I was in the audience for Pat Putnam's show. You gave like a little hot take on Dak Prescott.
You're mentioning I said something.
Yeah, I was saying you did a hot take on Dak Prescott.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be something cool.
I'll tell you what, go give your prediction, and then I'll go on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be interesting for Flynn to hear that your perspective on that too. It'll only be fair for him to hear it. But as far as this game goes, this one was fairly tough for me. I was kind of going back and forth on it. I mean, yeah, Dak. Well, I was right. Tom Brady is 7-0 when facing the Cowboys in his career. But we also got to keep in mind, most of those wins was when he was in a different uniform. This has changed now. He has a new team. So yeah, bearing that in mind, I think Tom Brady was obviously better when he was with the Patriots. And all streaks must come to an end. And I think the 7-0 streak ends here. I have the Cowboys winning this game 26-24. Tom Brady time is over. 26-24.
Oh, I think I like that. Well, I'll tell you what. Referring to, of course, the chat was referring to a comment that I made last night on the Four Horsemen of Pico on APISL 90 channel. I made some very bold predictions about what might happen if the Cowboys were to lose this game. And let me see if you guys would agree with me on this. First, I believe that Kellen Moore will probably be fired as offensive coordinator.
And also Kellen Moore and also Kellen Moore won't be a head coach next year for that matter either.
Right. The second thing is how would you justify keeping Mike McCarthy as your head coach? I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago on the Cowboys flagship 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, where he said that Mike McCarthy's job is secure. Well, wasn't that the same thing that Jerry Jones said for the last 5 weeks of Jason Garrett's tenure? You said his job is fine. His job is fine. Then lost again, so he eventually had to let him go. And so how would you justify keeping McCarthy? Also, I believe that I believe Dak Prescott will either be traded or released or whatever. I would just go ahead and get rid of Dak, promote Cooper Rush to QB1, and maybe draft a quarterback, probably maybe in the 3rd or 4th round, maybe, or maybe 4th or 5th round. And I would say that if the Cowboys do get a new head coach and McCarthy is fired, I say get Sean Payton. That's what I say. Anyway, it's our 0-7 against the GOAT. And like Natalie said, most of those wins were with the Patriots, with the Buccaneers now. And actually, Cowboys have had their problems, but Tampa Bay, they came in with a worse record than the Cowboys. They had their problems too. I mean, they did show signs that he's getting exposed here and there. I mean, even though he is the greatest quarterback of all time, I think he's starting to show a little bit of kinks in the armor, I guess. And so I'm hoping that this will happen. I'm hoping that the streak is over. The Cowboys' long streak of not getting out of the first round will be over. Give me the Cowboys with a late field goal by Brett Maher over those Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the GOAT. Give me the Cowboys by a score of 27-24. Oh, may the football gods smile on America's team. Oh, please. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
So, and I guess that's pretty much all this very, very exciting weekend. I'm getting excited about it right now. I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I just want to share my Super Bowl pick with you guys. My new. Oh, I was going to share my new Super Bowl pick. You guys ready for it?
Bring it on.
My new Super Bowl prediction. I'm sticking with the 49ers. They're going to be facing the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm. I picked Buffalo preseason to win the whole thing.
And the winner, I'm going with the 49ers. I'm pivoting back to the 49ers. First I had the 49ers, then I went to the Chargers. Now I'm pivoting back to the Niners. Mr. Irrelevant gets might be a little bit of a crazy take. As of right now, as of this writing, I'm saying Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, becomes Super Bowl MVP.
Oh.
Wow. Wouldn't that be the story of the year? I mean, that would be totally.
You guys have any new predictions?
Not
at this time. I don't.
I mean, I have the same Super Bowl. I mean, my preseason Super Bowl matchup was Bills Packers, but the Packers choked at the end. So, I'm gonna go with the same matchup as you with Buffalo and San Francisco.
Right.
But I still have Buffalo winning the whole thing.
Ah, okay. And I assume you have Josh Allen as MVP.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I predicted it would be the Rams and the Packers in the NFC Championship game. Of course, neither team is in the playoffs there. I was going to go with Green Bay, but I had Baltimore. That's right. I had Baltimore and Buffalo in the AFC Championship game, and I had Buffalo winning that one. And I had Buffalo beating the Packers in the Super Bowl. So at least Buffalo's still in. So who knows?
So I guess for now, you'll still keep, I guess, Buffalo as your Super Bowl winner. I guess that's a fair statement.
I guess for now, anyway.
All right. Well, at least all of us have the
Yeah,
Bills at least going to the
but,
Super Bowl. Oh yeah, and if you guys watching, if you guys have
I
Super Bowl
guess so.
predictions, leave them in the comments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we would love to
be
hear
sure
your
to do that.
predictions.
And of course, be sure. Yes. You people are watching live now, or if you want to watch the show later, leave a comment in the section. How do you pick these games here? Let us know, and I hope everyone has a great wild card weekend. It is going to be amazing. Playoffs are here.
Playoffs?
This is what we fans live for. I mean, yeah, playoffs. I mean, I'm so happy. We're all happy guys here.
Yeah, because our
Giants
our
in the
team.
playoffs. We couldn't be more happier.
Yeah,
and hopefully you guys are going to be very excited for this first wild card round, because pretty much anything can happen in this history has shown us in the past. There's a lot of crazy things going on during wild card weekend, so y'all be tuned to these games, because
and also, by the way,
you're going to see.
About another stat, by the way, 8 of the last 9 years, a 6 seed has been the 3 seed in the playoffs. Think about that.
Ooh, interesting.
I didn't think to bring that up right until right about now, but another reason why I feel very confident about my Giants this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the first official round of March Madness when a number 12 seed beats another 5 seed.
So, I mean,
it's kind of similar to that.
So I mean, is there
just
ever
never know here? But
I mean, is there ever an NCAA tournament where Murray State is not a 12 seed going up against Arkansas or Louisville? I mean,
I tell you the truth, I really haven't done any brackets in last couple of years, because the last few times I played, I was worse and worse, and I just gave it up.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean,
I don't know what to tell you right there.
I mean, St. Peter's, a 15 seed, went to the Elite Eight last year.
Yeah.
So you take that for what it's worth.
Yep. Well, guess we can go ahead and stop sharing that. I guess we'll close the door on this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. The playoffs are here, so it's your favorite. Put on and the list in the description area. Click on one of those things and you'll be sent right there. So, anything you guys want to say before we wrap things up?
This is definitely a week of games to be looking forward to. Yeah, if everything goes the way it goes for my picks, can you imagine 3 out of the 4 teams left in the NFC are from the East? That would be absolutely bizarre.
And that would be so. I'll tell you what. I wish you guys luck. I wish the Giants good luck in their game.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I'm going with my boys, wishing them luck in their game Monday night. So, so hopefully you people, your favorite teams are in the playoffs. Be cheering hard for them. And we will enjoy the games. And then we'll reconvene next Friday night, same time, same place. We'll look at the divisional rounds coming up, where we will bring in the 1 seeds from each conference, the Eagles in the NFC and the Chiefs in the AFC, then things will get really interesting. So
or as Tim would like to call it, the NFC's #1 seed.
Oh, yeah, the chickens. The filthy Delphia chickens coming in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All righty then. Well, we will go ahead and wish you all good night and keep watch the games. Watch us next week. For John Flynn, for John Natali, and on behalf of our technical director, Irene Namer, wherever she is here, I think she's trying to become Tom Brady's next wife. But you didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me. Oh, and by the way, since we mentioned that, what the heck? We'll go ahead and do it. What the heck?
Hating from the sideline, a flag on the play, like Julio with them.
Yeah. So that's that.
But I just wonder if she's still gonna love Tom if the Cowboys pull off the upset. But anyway, for John Flynn, John Natali, Irene Namer, our technical director, and everyone get it with the show. My name is Tim McClellan. Enjoy the games, everybody. Thanks for watching us. God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.